How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Notre Dame Primetime Live. I am your host, Ryan Fravel, with my co-hosts Sean and Ben. We are back after another fantastic recruiting weekend from Notre Dame football. After we had July 4th, not only did we have the fireworks of Independence Day, but we had the fireworks of 3 straight wide receiver commits. Mike Brown seems like he is, on one, so to speak, trying to save that job of his. But we're back. So, obviously, with July 4th and everything, I was on vacation personally at a wedding in Orlando. Well, how was your guys' holiday weekend?
You go first, Ben, since you were working at the hospital.
Yeah. My fun day of work at the hospital, and then, I went back home, had a few adult beverages that I'm legally allowed to have per the state laws and per the nation's laws. That's a better word. Yes, I think someone commented saying I looked 18 in the last one, which I thought was funny. But yeah, it was a fun weekend. We had some great commitments. It's awesome that we were able to get all 3 of our guys. And now I think we're done with 5 receivers. So, yeah.
Sean, what'd you do for 4th of July?
All right. So what did we do? All right. So we grilled out. We had some brats for lunch and stuff. And then we went to the pool with the dog and we just hung out at the pool. And then we grilled some burgers and then did some fireworks and then watched Jaws 2. Yeah. It felt like a good summer movie. So why not? What about you, Ryan?
Yeah, so obviously I was gone for about a week. It was nice to actually get out, not be stuck talking to specific people in a specific Notre Dame group chat, a la one person. Even though they tried ruining the weekend by blowing up multiple group chats. But anyway, I was at a wedding. My brother got married this weekend at Paradise Cove in SeaWorld in Orlando. So we went there. The weather didn't really want to cooperate. It was pretty much storming the entire time. Other than that, it was pretty fun. Obviously, being on vacation, then seeing the fireworks that were, Braden Robinson, Kadon Finley, and Devin Fitzgerald. We'll get into those here in a second. Mike Brown, that guy was getting a lot of heat after last year's debacle of receiver recruiting. A lot of people saying he should have been fired after this past year. I was one of the few people that was like, hey, let's give him some time because he just got here last year. As of right now, we still got to see the production on the field and development from the receivers in the room. But recruiting-wise, he hit this one out of the park.
When he was hired, he was known for being more of a developer than a recruiter, too. So,
yeah.
If he can do both, that would be great. I don't know if credit to Mike Brown, but I think this was definitely more Freeman than Mike Brown. But I do think he obviously played a big role in this recruitment, and congrats again to your brother for getting married.
Appreciate it. So let's get into these 3 commitments. First, the things first, the biggest one, the one that started it all off, who committed on July 4th, Kadon Finley, top 100 receiver, Texas legacy. We talked about it multiple times on the show that we weren't necessarily too confident just a few weeks ago about him coming to Notre Dame because of Texas getting the final OV and being a Texas legacy. But, Notre Dame in Freeman's time has not typically won a lot of these battles. How huge of a recruiting win is getting Kadon Finley to South Bend? Start with you, Ben.
It's a huge win. You get the legacy, and it shows a lot because even if realistically speaking here, if ex-NFL and ex-top level college athletes are sending their kids to Notre Dame, it shows they have a lot of belief in the system, which is perfect for us. It shows the belief. It shows that they think we can produce their kid to send them to the pros. Because one thing that you hear a lot of NFL players talk about their kids is you want to make that money. You want to get to the pros as fast as you can. I know LeVar Ball overplayed it with the whole 1 year in, 1 year out stuff at UCLA, but that is the goal of most of these kids. If it's 2 years or 3 years of playing in college football, just try to get to the NFL as fast as you can. So it's a big thing here. And Finley, as we said before, he was one of those kids where we thought Texas getting the last visit, but we were still predicted ahead all the way. Even after the visit, it was during the visit we were predicted ahead. Like what? They put his crystal ball out in the middle of his visit.
While he's still there, yeah.
I bet you Texas day one, they sent the train, they sent everything to Finley. And Finley, at the end of the day, still felt like he was going to Notre Dame. And what it sounds like is this has been planned for a while. These guys were going to do this. And it sounds like that maybe they made this agreement to all go to Notre Dame back at the visit. And then because we'll talk about the Braden Robinson thing, but it sounds like a lot like this is a group thing here between all three of these guys.
Yeah.
Back to back was definitely planned. I will say too, if you want to pull it up, Ryan, credit to Finley for his tweet.
Yeah, I can get that.
Thanking all the universities that recruited him. Right, not a lot of people do that. Shows a lot of class that all the people recruiting him and all the teams recruiting him, it really meant something. And, Notre Dame was the place for him, but that he appreciated all those places and going in depth. So it was really cool to see. I do agree, Ben, going 3 for 3. Didn't expect that a few weeks ago, but when he was on the visit and he was getting crystal ball, that's when you kind of knew he was going to Notre Dame. So I think this is an elite get. My second favorite wide receiver to get in the class. I mean, I'm a Cardinals fan, so I like another one a lot. So, but this is an elite get. He's going to be somebody that do you not? I mean, is there any way he does not play right away? I mean, I'm trying to think of the starters for next year. But when Malachi Fields is gone, I see him getting a good amount of playing time early, and if not this upcoming year, after Faison, Greathouse, and all of them are gone the year after, whether he plays slot or not or out, he'll likely play outside. But it'll be definitely interesting to see where when he'll play. But he'll definitely, I think, get playing time early. Could you see this being one though, like a surprise Cam Williams, where we're all like, oh, he's going to play, and then he gets redshirted? Like, do you see that at all? Or
I could see it, but I also think. And this is good. I feel like it is kind of a lazy comparison because I've seen a lot of people say Kadon Finley is just like a taller Jaden Greathouse. Well, I can see where that's going. I think it's a little lazy just because they're both from Texas. They're both, top level prospects that happen to be receivers from the Texas area. I think Kadon is like Jaden Greathouse is more like you said, a technical slot guy. Kadon is like just an elite level boundary guy that can get separation and is a tactician. But I think Kadon, he's going to start immediately when he comes. I don't think it'll be a Cam Williams thing. Cam Williams and Micah Gilbert, those were kind of two different situations. Cam, he had to get some weight on his frame. He had to get better at route running. Micah, I think we'll see a lot more from Micah this year. But again, with how, the addition of Will Pauling and Malachi Fields, how much is he really going to see the field? I think Kadon could easily come in and be what Jaden Greathouse was his freshman year.
Especially them being gone.
Because, people forget, Greathouse didn't have his hamstring injury his freshman year. He was on pace for a 700-plus yard season. So I think Kadon can kind of have that same impact. I'm interested to see, though, how we utilize him with combination of Gilbert, Cam Williams, Braden Robinson, those guys, how that's all going to work.
Isn't this a great feeling compared to what it was literally, 2 years
year?
ago when Rico Flores was transferring and Tobias Merriweather transferring, and it just felt like the receiver room was just going to stay dead. And then all of a sudden you get these transfers that come in, then you have guys like Faison step up, and it's just great to see.
Yeah. Yeah. So next guy, obviously, Sean's favorite receiver in the class is Devin Fitzgerald, the son of Hall of Fame NFL receiver Larry Fitzgerald. And we talked a lot about him on this channel. But again, this is the guy that committed right after Kadon. How do we feel about this one? I know you and Ben were both super high on Devin. I've seen some people say he's got the floor of Deion Colsey, but the ceiling of Chase Claypool, which is completely two different ends of the spectrum. I don't.
What's the middle?
I don't like. What is the middle? Like, what's the middle there?
Not going insane.
Yeah.
Having good. Well, I can't make that joke on here. Never mind.
But yeah, how do you guys feel about Devin Fitzgerald?
You go, Ben.
I'm high on this kid. I think it's gonna be the best kid we get in our recruiting class. Realistically, and Sean looked at me all weird. I'm gonna miss Sean doesn't have the same opinion. But realistically, I always look at. I think sports works in a weird way in my head, and this is purely no facts behind this at all. Well, actually, there's a little bit of fact, but almost no facts behind it at all. I think this will be the best receiver in this class. I think he'll end up being better than Finley and Robinson and, Bubba. Yeah.
Yeah, Bubba Frazier.
Yeah, Bubba. One said the first name right. Yeah. I think he'd be better than them. It's just when you look at these kids with NFL dads who were great wide receivers, they all carry something from their father. Thaddeus Moss, he had amazing hands. He could catch anything. He could catch COVID with 15 masks on if he wanted to. You got Jerry Rice's son. Was it Ben Rice, the kid at USC? He did not have a great beginning of his career, but the end of his senior year, he had 12 touchdowns. That's pretty good. Who was the other wide receiver I was thinking of?
Obviously, Harrison Jr.
Yes, Harrison Jr. Harrison Jr. is just a god. He was like a freaking grown man playing with children in football terms. And if Larry Fitzgerald's son, Devin Fitzgerald, I can't say Larry Fitzgerald's son, his name's Devin Fitzgerald. If he has the hands like his father, if he's able to consistently catch the ball on this Notre Dame team, there is no reason for me to believe that he isn't one of the best wide receivers we have in the class. Because what's the one thing we complained about last year? I don't know if we were dropping balls.
Throwing the ball.
That too. Well, you can't throw the ball when you're not confident in your wide receivers to catch it. Shout out Bo Collins. And Jane Greyhouse against NIU. But I think he has the ability to make the plays. And we saw during the OT7 games, he made some amazing catches. And he made some catches that takes shot. It's a word that sounds very stupid to use, but it's important. Concentration on the ball is important for those catches. What was the one? It was a Hail Mary play. The ball wasn't even thrown to him, and they got smacked down by the DB, and he still caught it. He was the second guy on the side, and he caught it. That takes extreme concentration. So I'll put it in. I think that he'll be the best wide receiver in this group. I'll probably be wrong. I'm fine with it, but I think he'll be the best.
Reverse psychology, like always. I agree. First, with the comparison to all the receivers, I just want to throw this as a tidbit because why not? Marvin Harrison Jr. is arguably, as a prospect going into the draft, was the best since Amari Cooper. I mean, you could argue Jamar Chase.
There were people calling Marvin Harrison Jr. generational when he was coming out of college.
But I will say this: you want to talk about generational? I do think Jeremiah Smith is the best wide receiver prospect I've ever seen. I do think that dude is going to be dirty. He's going to be the next Chase and JJ. But it made me think about that when you said Harrison. But I agree with you, Ben. I think this is the best wide receiver in this class. And it's always with Notre Dame classes, if you look closely, it always happens. The highest ranked wide receiver, 8 times out of 10, usually isn't the most successful in the class. A, at Notre Dame. B, it's always typically a guy that's in the middle-ish, right? But I looked at you weird when you were like best player in the class. I still think Joey O'Brien. I think Larry Fitzgerald is going to be.
Wait, I didn't mean the best player in the class. I think Joey O'Brien's going to be the best player in the class. I think he's the next Sauce Gardner. He's got to be the best wide receiver out of all 5 of the guys we got.
So I think I think Devin is going to be the best offensive player we have in this class, like you said. I think Joey O'Brien is the best defensive player. But Devin Fitzgerald, he's the one wide receiver. Whether he plays early or not, I think he's going to play earlier than all the other receivers. But if he doesn't, I think he has the best Notre Dame career. So
can you pull up that clip of what I'm telling you about Fravel when the ball hit off the other receiver and he caught it? Like, that's insane. If we look back at it. Go ahead, Sean. I'm sorry.
How's he? No, you're good. How's he even a 3-star on some sites? He will 100% be a 4-star by the time this class is done.
Well, no, knowing the Notre Dame hate tree, he'll get moved down to 0, no star. Because 247 hates us. Yeah.
Well, he won.
He's going to be different.
Yeah.
You did.
I think this is the play right here.
That was just a normal touchdown. It was like a 30, 40-plus yard bomb.
You did say, Ben, that if he has the hands of his father, I'm not even going to say that because nobody has the hands of his father. I mean, he had more tackles in his career than he did drops, right?
Yeah.
If it's close, I think we're solid. He's going to be a guy that I like the ceiling of Chase Claypool, where you could just throw it up and he's going to catch it. Claypool didn't beat you with speed. Claypool didn't beat you with anyone. He was just
that's the one thing.
Mapletron,
that's the one thing that me and another guy in the college football type group chat, QB does a lot of. He's a guy who dives into a lot of tape and everything, and he said that he thought Fitzgerald was just a massive project, and it was because he lacks the speed to get consistent separation, and he thinks it's just enough. He thinks he's a heavy project guy. My thing is, does he need separation if he's just catching everything that's thrown his way?
Yeah,
that's the thing. This is how I look at it. Route running, and your football IQ get you separation, right? Speed keeps the separation. Two different things. I think he's able. Is he going to go downfield and just cook somebody by 5 to 10 yards? No. But is he going to go out there if you throw the ball up and do what Trace Claypool did all the time, which was just
catch it
over the top of you? Yeah.
Well, do we even need a speedster when you have guys like potential? Well, I say Greathouse will probably be gone by then, but you'll have guys, Saldate in the slot or like a Faison still there probably, and then other guys that have more speed that'll open the field up more. I think where he's going to excel is the red zone, right? The thing I'm most interested to see where he plays is, especially with getting Bubba in the class with how short he is, I see him as more of a slot guy, right? But his father played everywhere, and his father excelled in the slot. So I'm wondering, it makes me just wonder for shits and giggles where he's going to play, whether he's outside or inside, because he might be able to play both.
And another thing is
when we talk about the speed thing, and we'll talk about with Braden Robinson next. If we keep getting these guys where we have 2 bullet guys, like Bubba's pretty fast and Robinson's pretty fast, one of them has to work out at some point in the next 3 years. We're gonna have a speed guy work out. So, and I think we'll get on to that, but I think with speed we won't have a problem with for a while.
Yes.
One of the things, and I really like the Marv comparison. Not that I think obviously Marv was like a higher profile recruit coming out of high school than Devin is. But the thing that made me, I was going to say it, and I'm glad you guys brought it up. I was watching the OT7, the entire tournament, and Patrick Peterson, Sean, one of the greatest Cardinals of all time, right? One of the greatest corners of all time. He calls a lot of OT7 games. He called OT7 games with when Marvin Harrison Jr. was doing 7-on-7. He said that, in his opinion, Devin Fitzgerald reminds him of just exactly like Marv. And to me, you can have scouts say whatever, you can have these recruiting insiders say whatever. When you have a guy that's an NFL Hall of Famer that played at the highest level and has seen both Marv and Devin. He's also been around Devin because him and Larry are.
He's also been around Marv
friends.
with the Cards organization.
Yep.
Well, even though he doesn't play for the Cards, he's still a part.
But he watched Devin grow up, and he was telling the story, and he's like, "This kid is going to be special when he gets to college," and that to me speaks more volumes than anything that a recruiting site can rank or anything, because that's a guy that actually played the game.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it.
I love it.
But all right, let's get to the third and final firework from the weekend. Braden Robinson. We know how, certain people feel about, this one. But me personally, I'm huge on Braden Robinson, regardless of the size, because I think he's just got flat out speed. Like, he is the definition of just burner.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, and it's just the speed that I don't think Notre Dame's had.
I think at minimum he'll be a kick returner. At minimum, he'll just be a good kick returner, special teams guy. But what do you think, Ben? Before I go,
I think floor. We have a Chris Tyree here, as we said, kick return, special teams guy, gadget guy. Ceiling, this kid could very easily be like a small, tinier Will Fuller. When it comes to just the deep threat, like speed wise. I know a lot of people in Fravel's group chat, they're scared because he's 5'8", and I guess that's a legal midget now in the United States. So I guess Fravel's scared of that. I think we'll be fine. I think he's got to be a great kid. I think he's got to work hard. And you look at just the route running, the run stop, like he'll stop and go. The way he's able to just slow down for a little spurt and then cut right back through. It's just something that you don't see a lot. And with the really fast kids, it's usually just, oh, I'm fast, I'm just going to beat you deep. It's the difference between having like a Forrest Gump and a Tyreek Hill. Forrest Gump runs in a straight direction. Tyreek Hill was able to stop and turn and do a whole bunch of stuff. I understand Forrest Gump's not real, but point being,
he's real. He's real.
He's real.
That's why I like it. That's why I like. And me and Ben had discussions got into a debate in another Notre Dame group chat with some other people about, because they were going to bring his size. They're like, all he has is speed. He doesn't have route running.
That's how he's better route running than speed.
Like,
okay, wait, no. I would say his route running looks better than his speed on film does.
Yes. Like, that's the thing. Is he's not. When you say somebody doesn't have route running and they're just a speed guy, that's just a guy that you just have run go routes and they're just going to outrun. He's doing these ins, and he's twisting, turning, planting his foot. He's turning corners completely around, putting them in a spin cycle. Like, that's not 5'8". He just threw a guy to the ground. That's not playing 5'8", 160, soaking wet. To me, he plays a lot bigger than his size and his height and weight would tell you.
And one thing you look at it with the guys who are just all speed, look at John Ross, how John Ross played. John Ross was not cut up the field, go to the middle, go to the outside. It was go down the field, go on a go route every single time. He's going to work great in Mike Denbrock offense no matter what. But Mike Denbrock probably would have loved to have a guy like John Ross where it's just go deep and beat your guy. Yeah. John Ross wasn't able to cut up the field. That's why John Ross never worked out.
I mean, it's not about the size. It's about the player's impact. No, I'm just kidding. But I think at minimum floor here, we got a Braden Lindsay. That's what I see. I think Lindsay was very similar. I don't need him to route run. I don't need him to go catch the ball. I need him to be a guy.
That play right there. Like that's not just speed. I'm sorry, Sean. That's not just speed.
I need him to come in and go sideline to sideline, sweeps, jet screens, right? That's where I think he'd be used perfectly. I mean, in an offense like ours, use him. I mean, of course, to go deep, break ahead speed, but going sideline to sideline to tire defenses with him, that's where I think he'll excel. And that's why I think Lindsey. I mean, Lindsey, we always expected more from him. Like, he had great speed, but it's always seemed like it just never panned out, right? So I'm hoping that he can pan it out, but they use him similar to Lindsey when they do the sweeps and sideline to sideline stuff. So
I also think, like, because, Denbrock a lot last year liked running those phase-on wide receiver screens, those tunnel screens. Braden would be perfect on those tunnel screens. And I think, like, he's shiftier than Faison is. Faison has lacrosse speed. Like, Braden Robinson just has flat-out track speed. And
the big thing Robinson's, we got to remember on those screens, you have to be able to see the receiver over the O lineman a little bit. So good thing we don't have Drew Pine in there at quarterback.
Yeah.
You can't even see over his left guard.
Dude, that combination would go 0 for 20 with 10 picks. What's weird about Drew Pine is early on in his career, in high school, but early on at Notre Dame, he looked good. He came in situational and was dicing defenses up, and then he finally got to start, and he just did not look like the same Drew Pine. Like, it really looked different.
I still remember the greatest Drew Pine performance of all time, Stanford. Drew Pine, through what? He threw three picks. Oh yeah, when he came in like a half, that's when they started running they'd run Buckner, Cohen, and Pine out there. Like, what? Yeah. I guess it worked for a little bit. It worked in the Florida State game, didn't it?
Yeah.
Well, what happened was the Wisconsin
Virginia Tech, not Florida State.
The Wisconsin game.
Yeah.
If you remember that game. That Wisconsin game, I was going back I was doing my my Notre Dame countdown. I was going through that Wisconsin game. Drew Pine actually played really well against Wisconsin.
And then what? Weird. Do you think it could have been? I've hated him. What was that coordinator? George Parker? What Parker?
Jared Parker.
Gerard Parker. Yeah. God, I hated him. But do you think he could have been why?
No, I just don't think Pine was very good. Because then Pine left. He went to Missouri. Didn't work out there.
Didn't he go to Arizona State to try to beat out Sean Levitt, and then he just got told to go away?
No, he got beat by DJ Lagway and Levitt.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And now he's the start. Well, might be the starting quarterback for Bowling Green. That quarterback room was Jack Cohn, Tyler Buckner, who's now a walk-on, and Drew Pine, who's probably going to either be a backup or starter at Bowling Green.
Can I please see
crazy.
Tyler Buckner play quarterback just one more
Guys,
time?
I don't know what you're talking about. That's going to be we keep thinking it's CJ Carr. We keep thinking it's Kenny Minchie. I thought it was Nico. No, it's Tyler Buckner season.
If Buckner starts...
My
dad gets so mad or my uncle too, because I said when he was a recruit, I said Tyler Buckner would win a national championship at Notre Dame. And
super close.
And he won with lacrosse. He still won a national championship. I mean, hey, I'll take the credit.
Wasn't he technically on Alabama when they won the Natty? Was he transferred by then? Oh wait, no, they didn't win the Natty. They lost to Michigan that year.
He had transferred. Yeah.
They lost to Michigan that year, or won the SEC. Better word.
Ryan knows. Buckner was probably the highest I've been on a quarterback in quite some time. I was really high on Buckner.
But, I think Buckner was going to be well. Yeah.
If I asked you guys who the last quarterback to throw 5 touchdown passes in a game was,
it's Drew Pine against Purdue.
I thought it was Tyler Buckner. He threw 3 touchdowns and 2 pick sixes.
No, it was actually Tyler Buckner.
Yeah, he threw 3 touchdowns and 2 pick sixes.
Who was it against?
It was against
South Carolina.
South Carolina. With Spencer Rattler. I remember that game oh my God. I was sitting there we're going to get 50 bombed by South Carolina. This offense is crazy. We got 50 bombed, but it wasn't because of the offense. And we still won. Tyler Buckner had to take South Carolina plus 7.5. He had to, because I've never seen a quarterback have such a bad play and then just flip a switch.
Hey, you're talking
and
about
lead
the Gator
game
Bowl
with a drive.
MVP right there.
Yeah, I know. He threw 5 touchdowns. But I've never seen a quarterback do something so stupid, and be like, oh, let me flip a switch and let's go win the game.
Was it 5? He had 5 touchdowns, passing touchdowns, and then what, 3 pick sixes?
No, he had 1 touchdown passing. I thought 2 of them were rushing. Here, I can look it up. I got it right here.
Okay.
Yeah. I thought
Okay.
one of them was rushing. Yeah.
He scored basically as many. He scored half of South Carolina's points too.
Yeah, he was the lead scorer. He threw for more touchdowns than Spencer Rattler did that game. Like, it was crazy.
And people are like, oh, Notre Dame would have lost South Carolina if it wasn't a bowl game.
Okay.
I think we beat South Carolina. We had Drew frickin' Pine. Yeah, he threw 2 touchdowns. Rattler threw 2. Crazy. Insane.
All right.
I got it here.
You're getting mad. We won the game.
We did win the game. I am irritated, though.
You play to win the game.
Wait, that is math. That's not mathing here. 1 second.
Ben, you gotta wake up the echoes with how mad you get.
Yeah.
I'm just sorry. That game just sits in my head like, oh my god, this is so stupid.
Dude, that game, I remember watching that game at a Buffalo Wild Wings, and I was like so pissed. Because I'm like, I think we were up by 14 late in the 4th, and we're getting ready to score to go up 21, I would say. And then this motherfucker throws a pick 6, the dumbest interception I could have seen a quarterback throw. Throws it in a double coverage, the other side of the field, and it just gets taken back to the house. And I'm like, dude.
What are your top 3? I'm going to ask this. Top 3, ready? Top 3 maddest games in Notre Dame history. And then
1 second. Tyler Buckner scored 7 touchdowns that game. He threw for 3. He ran for 2, and he threw 2 pick sixes. Go ahead, Sean. Go ahead.
What are your 3, like, the maddest you've been with Notre Dame games? And then I'm going to add one where it was like just pure sadness, like the saddest you've been.
Okay.
Game.
Top 3. Angriest. Push. Obviously.
God, what were you, 3? Gosh.
No, I was 6.
Okay.
Bro, you don't remember push.
Let's see.
What's next? You're gonna say Miami?
Yeah. You know what? The Miami game in 2017 really pissed me off.
Oh, wait, 2017.
I just was sitting like this the whole game.
Yeah. Oh, the worst one.
Come on.
2019 or no, the 2011 was it the game that we gave up a 14-point lead to Michigan at the Big House when they came back.
That was
we're talking about 2011, 2010.
2011.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the guy who wears shoelaces. What's his name? College football coach.
That was where turnover Tommy came from. That's where that whole thing came from. Because that motherfucker Tommy Reese, I can't. He was so good.
Tommy Reese. Tommy football couldn't throw a football that day.
Ryan, what's the saddest?
Saddest is 2023 Ohio State by far.
Okay. For me, I would say angriest, no order. Without a doubt, Florida State with the Phantom PI.
Oh, yes. I forgot that game.
That was the first time we played Georgia at home when Wimbush in field goal range to win the game fumbled. That was top 3 for me. And then probably the ACC championship against Clemson. I was pretty salty. And then saddest, I'll be honest. I was sad after the national championship. I don't think I was as sad, because I went to the game and got to experience it with Ryan, but I think I was also proud, we weren't supposed to be here. We were so injured, and the future's bright with Marcus Freeman, and 2 New Year's 6 bowls in 1 year when we haven't won one since 1993. I was upset and sad, actually. Let me say this. I was sad longer throughout the offseason with the Ohio State loss. I'm still feeling the effects of it. But just pure game sadness, I think I was more sad with the Alabama one. Alabama 2012 one.
Yeah.
Let me change mine really quick. The two losses in 2015, those ones really ticked me off. The loss against Clemson,
and then the loss against Stanford.
and
I would say my three. Number one has
wait. Ben's gonna say, my three worst ones are Ohio State last year, Ohio State the year before, and the national championship.
No, okay. I have a story. Actually, I do have a story for every one of them. NIU, number one on the list. I threw a fucking chair off my buddy's college dorm room. That's how pissed I was. I don't think I ever recovered like mentally from that game.
I'm glad it happened.
Second, Ohio State versus Notre Dame. No, not the last two times. The first time.
You want your food snacks with your bottle?
at Ohio State. I was pissed off for so many reasons. Number one, I'm wearing a Notre Dame jersey. It's my birthday of college. We're in college and we're at the bars. I'm a little intoxicated. I'm very intoxicated. And we're at the bars watching, and I'm walking back, and I'm in my Notre Dame jersey. It was just a plain green Notre Dame jersey, no name on the back, and this random frat dude. You could tell he was a frat by the way he talked. You could smell those guys from a mile away. Starts talking crap to me. He tries to fight me in the middle of the street because I was wearing a Notre Dame jersey because he was an Ohio State fan. I'm like, are you stupid? And then number three has to be against Texas. The year after the year Fred was talking about.
That was
2016 Texas. Yeah, because I don't understand how we couldn't figure out if the big African American man is in, they're not going to throw the football.
We were. I mean, let's be real. They couldn't figure out that whole season.
Wait. You talking about the Texas game where we lost to a fullback? Legitimately a fullback.
A fullback at quarterback, yeah.
All right, what about status? Just
status is a tie. It's a tie. 2015 against Stanford. I want to point this out before I say this. I would have been how old would I have been? Oh shit, I gotta figure it out. 6th grade? I thought for sure. Yeah. I just aged myself.
That 2015 Stanford, I was like, a sophomore in high school?
I think I was in 6th grade. Was I in 7th grade?
I was in
6th grade.
Junior, I was a junior or sophomore in high school.
Yeah. So before I say this, I want to point this out. I was in 6th grade. I was like 12 years old. That game made me cry. I was so upset that we lost to Stanford because we weren't going to make the college football playoffs. And that whole time, I'm like, oh my God, we returned the kick for a touchdown. I'm like, this turned to ties. We're going to make the college football playoffs. I was so excited because whoever was above us, I think they lost. Or no, they were losing at the time. And then everything flipped. We lost the game. And then second status, it's Ohio State. Not this past year, but the year before that, 2023.
If I remember correctly, wasn't it that Stanford game? Didn't they get in field goal range because of a dumb penalty?
Yes.
Was that? I just remember there was a play in that game, and of course it's CMC.
The dumb penalty one was Marcus Freeman's Stanford loss.
Yeah, that was
the dumb penalty.
Yeah.
I'm talking about
the Stanford loss was because we legitimately guarded the sidelines, but we had our safeties nowhere near the middle of the field. Yeah. And I think it was a Stanford tight end just cut directly up the middle of the field and was wide open 35 plus yards.
But
and
didn't their kicker
have so many moments
where he made like a 48-yarder or something crazy.
We have so many moments where we can just oh my God, this was amazing. I'd say top 3 happiest moments. Beating Clemson that first time. Watching that with my wife was awesome. That was the first time. Beating Penn State. And then this is a really random one, and I'm pretty sure it's Navy. It was Navy or Pitt. But the 2012 season, I remember when we played Navy, and it went to double overtime, and they were going to win the game, and they missed a field goal, and then they were going to win the game again, and then they missed a field goal, and then we ended up winning. I was just but I was probably happier with the goal line stand at Stanford. But Penn State and Clemson were definitely the two, and I'm sure y'all are similar with those wins.
Yeah.
I would say my 3 happiest is Penn State. I would say Clemson. And then 2018 against Pittsburgh, and it sounds crazy.
Yeah.
But 2018 against Pittsburgh, because I was at the game, and the funny thing about that was I was sitting in the parents section, and you won't believe who was sitting right in front of me. I was sitting in the Pittsburgh parents section. Kenny Pickett's mother was sitting right in front of me.
That's awesome.
And I don't remember what Kenny Pickett did, but he like messed up. He missed like a wide open touchdown pass or something. And we start cheering, and the mom turns around and gives me like a death stare. And I'm like, woo!
Flip her off. Yeah. All right. We talked about what's the next topic?
Yep. I was getting into the Charles Jagasah thing. This should be interesting. I haven't got to state my opinion on it. I kind of told Marcus I kind of get both sides of it. So Charles Jagusah,
saying see out and not give an opinion.
Fourth of July weekend, Charles Jagusah got into a UTV accident where he basically broke his arm, and he could be there's stuff that he could be back potentially before the season, maybe by week 2. And I know that this has been especially in the group chat and Notre Dame Twitter, Notre Dame, news. It's been a lot of overreaction. A lot of people are pissed. A lot of people are pissed at Charles Jagusah. A lot of people are, saying that a lot of things that he should be kicked off the team.
No,
this is he should be benched. He should get his NIL money stripped away. All this other stuff, right? So I want to get your guys' thoughts, and then I'll kind of give my thought on it. My first impression was 2 things can be true at once. You're already a guy that hasn't had a lot of in-game experience because of injuries in your career already. You missed all of last offseason preparing to the A&M game and most of the season in general.
All of it.
Due to a pec injury. And we lose our 3 of our key guys on the offensive line that were forced to fill in, partly because of your injury, because we were under the impression that you were going to be healthy this year. I do think that he probably should have been smarter, right? You're already an injury-prone guy. 4th of July weekend, you're running around. We don't know exactly what he was doing on the ATVs. I'm imagining, you can't really speculate, but maybe he was racing, maybe he was riding around with his buddies. We don't know, right? I don't want to speculate on that, but putting yourself in that situation, you just got to be more mature. But I also get the side of he's a 20-year-old kid.
I mean,
we've all been 20. Well, we're older, so I look at it that way. But we were all 20. We all do dumb shit, right? I just think should he not be able to have fun and ride on an ATV? And then the NIL contract and all that other stuff comes into it. I get it, but I want to get you guys' thoughts. I'll go with Ben first.
Yeah, Ben. You're muted.
Not bad. I was reading something. I think we need to take a second, and we really need to just calm down. And it really comes down to this. One, I don't believe the kid. I saw people on Twitter saying, "Oh, he was hammered and he flipped it." I don't believe that happened because I've also heard certain things about how he was with other people, he was with other people and other players. I've heard that from other people on Twitter, in tweets that, other players were around him. So I don't think that was a thing. I don't think he was hammered and he flipped it. I don't know if he was racing. The thing with these things with these UTVs and the AT, I've never driven one before. They're very easy to have not easy to have an accident happen. They're made for you not to get hurt like this, but it also doesn't make it out of the possibility. If you're going too fast and you've never driven one before and you cut it too far left, you can flip that thing easily. It's shockingly how easy that thing can flip. So I could, and I'm part of people who just think that we're overreacting a little bit because this is the second time he's been hurt. And that's the bigger thing here is that second time he's been hurt. He's never Like I think if last year he wasn't hurt and he played the full season and this happened, then there wouldn't be that much of an uproar about it.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I think they want this NIL money taken away. Unless if something new is in the NIL contract, Notre Dame would be extremely stupid to try to do that. And they would be, I don't think they'd be legally allowed to do that. I mean, there might be something in this contract that says he can't do, if he gets injured doing non-football activities. I don't believe that because of the pure way NIL is supposed to work. I'm just going to go off of what what NIL is supposed to do. It's not supposed to be you're playing on the field. I know we're not a school that does that. Well, we do that for some players. We don't do that for all players. Charles Jagusah is definitely not one of those players who we're giving millions of dollars to come play. So, yeah. But I think this will all end up being fine. I think he learned his lesson. I guarantee you he'll never do it again. I'll put money on it. He'll never ride one again.
I will say, I agree with the overreactions. I told y'all before the show, jokingly, I mean, I did do it. I benched him in EA college football. And he's going to, he's just behind what I think I put Gerby Lambert at guard, right? But my thing is this. The biggest thing, like I agree with Ryan, is that you were hurt all last year. If this is your first injury, I think it's completely different than you being hurt all last year, having a focal role into this offense, and then, being able to come in here and then you're going to start and then you get hurt again. So it's a little frustrating for fans. My view with the NIL stuff. For me, I've always viewed NIL shouldn't be given to players. It should have been earned, whether you do autographs or you do commercials, whatever. If it were that way, I don't think NIL should be taken. But if the university is direct, and it depends on how long the injury is, but let's say he's out for half the season, it won't happen. But if the university is directly paying you to play football for the school and you're missing half the season, I do think if it's a non-football injury that you should have to at least pay a portion of that back, because the school is investing and paying into you to be able to be football ready, and if you're not, then it's that is an issue. But
and who knows? Maybe in the future when they sign their contracts, they'll put in there. If you get hurt while driving ATVs, then you're screwed.
I mean, it is
you're
like
not
that in the NFL. It's like
that. Well, the other thing is, okay, go ahead. Well, the other thing is with it is even the NFL, they don't do it like this. They don't even with extremes like this, because Jason Pierre-Paul blew his hand off and he never lost any money. He got fined like 10 grand by the NFL but he still, there's a while there we didn't think he was going to play.
Yeah. So. I mean, I do think too that it's different on the aspect of, let them ride an ATV. You don't want them to just be football work. Let them enjoy life. And if they just so happen to get hurt shooting a basketball, riding an ATV, going fishing, it happens, right? I do think I don't agree with the whole, he's just 20, he's a kid, this and that. You're an adult. If you're an adult enough to make millions of dollars at a university playing football, you're a grown fucking adult. You're a grown fucking adult if you can make that money. And
how I look at it, right, is there were a lot of people that were mad and bringing up, if you're going to get paid like an NFL player, you should be held to the same standards. He should have stuff in his contract, his NIL contract, that states if you are doing this, and that, and you hurt yourself, we don't have to give you this money, or we can take away the money. I don't necessarily agree with that, because to me, it depends. Yes. We don't know how Jagasah got hurt. If he was, again, this is not me saying it happened. This is me saying if he was intoxicated and operating the ATV, hurt himself. That's the case I can understand.
Yeah, if he
that
just
argument.
Slipped off,
if he's racing and he hurts himself, I get it. But to me, how is this any different than if he just slipped off his ATV and got Ben said, if you don't have a lot of experience with those, he's a bigger guy. If he's going a little over a curb too fast and he flips off, how is that any different than him if he were to get into a car accident
or get hurt into a game?
Right, an accident. Yeah, accidents happen. It's life. right?
So real quickly here,
Yeah.
I just want to add this on for anyone listening and they're getting their opinion off this. I do want to say this. Anyone that still thinks it was a racing thing, I wanted to make sure this was correct before I said it. This happened. This was a team event, sort of. There were more than just Jagusah there at this thing. Billy, I can't say that last name. Schroff, Brennan Vernon, Sullivan Asher, Joe Otting, Ben Munich, Jordan Fajon, Kenny Minchie, Cooper Flanagan. They were all there when this happened. They were out in Wyoming together and they were doing this. They were either doing other stuff, like they were shooting guns with law enforcement and military folk. That's exact wordage here from Matt. This is released by Matt Freeman. If anyone has Irish Sports Daily, Matt Freeman posted this. So we're not insiders. I just got sent this by someone who has Irish Sports Daily. But so I don't think it was racing. That's my main point here. I don't think it was anything stupid. I think it was just I think he just turned left going too fast, or he turned right going. Most likely, he turned left going too fast.
I have the opinion. I will say this: we talk about NIL paying the money back. Injury, I don't necessarily have that opinion. They're still a part of the university. They're still being a part of the team, to where I think they should still be able to get that. It really depends circumstantial. Like if a dude was like drunk and jumped off a building, then I'm like, okay, like maybe then. But like like the stuff like this, they're just having fun. Let them be a team. Let them be a unit. There's no difference in a car accident or him getting hurt on the football field. But I will say this: I have the different opinion on if they entered the transfer portal. That is my thing. I do think that if a student athlete enters the transfer portal, they should have to pay back the school everything they've earned, because you are asking them for 3 years to be a part. I'm paying you $10 million, Bryce Underwood, Michigan, to bring a national championship to Michigan in 3 years. But after 1 year, you that $10 million, you're going to leave for Oregon. Like I think there needs to be stuff to, like, if it's one way, it should go both ways. That's my thing. So if you want to leave that school, you're leaving that money.
And here's
my
thing.
Get that money elsewhere.
Here's my thing with the Jagasah stuff too. Knowing now what Matt Freeman reported, it's no different than, like we said, a car accident. Like it was just something happened. And again, like there are people in the fan base that will hear that and will still say, take his NIL money, kick him off the team. You know, you got to be smarter. You got to do this, and acting like the kid did something illegal.
Well, he's not doing. We got to remember, even idiots are allowed to have their own opinion and tweet it on Twitter.
Yeah,
that's
just, we're acting like he's a Georgia. Yeah. He's not a Georgia player. At least he's not drunk driving a Hellcat into the side of an apartment complex. Like, that's what I mean. Like,
Kirby Smart. No, if he did this with Kirby Smart, he'd get an extra $500,000.
Probably.
I guarantee. If Kirby Smart would go on live television and be like, "Oh, he wasn't drunk. No, he wouldn't do anything stupid. You guys are assholes."
No, I mean, I do think that he should keep his NIL. I don't think he should get punished. I think that at minimum, you just keep him out till he's fully healthy.
Now, let me pose this question, because this is kind of going into the after effects of this. Depending on when he comes back, I highly doubt he's going to be ready for week 1 against Miami. I've already kind of got that he's not. Week 2, or not week 2, but week 3 against A&M, I still don't know if he's going to be ready to go then. So let me ask you guys this question. 1, if whoever it is, whether it's any combination of Sullivan Absher, who is like the leader in the clubhouse right now to take that left guard spot, they're going to keep Knapp at left tackle. Or, one of the young guys, Will Black or Gerby Lambert, you kick in Knapp. Whether a combination that is. Against Miami and A&M, if, say, you beat Miami and you beat A&M and everything is really good, the offensive line is, playing really well, say Sullivan Absher is playing amazing, and Jagasah comes back. Do you just sit there and go to Sullivan Absher and say, hey, get back on the bench for a guy that has been injury prone the last 2 years? and you risk then maybe Absher leaves in the offseason, do you play that game, or do you go with the group of guys that you beat A&M and Miami with?
I mean, you got to go with the best offensive line group, no matter what, whether it's as a team or just talent. But I mean, they did it last year. They put Jagasah back in the playoffs. Didn't think that was going to happen, right? I thought Tosh Baker was going to start.
So go ahead, Sean. Go ahead.
But I mean, it really depends. I think that you put Jagusah back. It just depends on how good Absher looks. If he looks so good that you can't take him off the field, then you keep running it. You have to. I mean, if he's that good to where you can't take him off but I don't think he's going to be. I think he'll be good, but Jagusah will be better, and that's where they're going to put him back in. I mean, Ben.
So just doing, he injured. What did he do? He broke his. Oh,
Humerus.
Jesus Christ! Humerus bone. That's so funny. The name, just going with what happened here. Humerus bone. He will. Earliest he can be back, if my math's correct here, will be Arkansas. At Arkansas, we do not. Even if he gets back by Arkansas, do not play him against Arkansas. For God's sakes, do not do it, because everything that just leads to like miscommunications. Like, we've seen the ticket for the Arkansas games. They're expensive. They're going to sell that stadium out.
Yeah.
I think if we were to slot him in against NC State at home, maybe Boise State at home, and like, of course, if whoever we replace him with ends up playing out of their mind, I say it's just a position battle. Then you make him earn a spot back. And so I think if he comes back, I think his best chance will be against NC State. I don't think we do it for USC, because that's another thing where it's a rivalry game. You don't want the miscommunication to happen. And after that, you can work them in however you want, because no other team scares me besides USC after that.
They put him in the national championship. I mean, against Ohio State. I mean,
they saved him, so they brought him in some snaps in the Sugar Bowl.
Yeah,
he played very limited snaps. He didn't start. They then, when Knapp went down against Penn State, that's when they went full Jagasah, all out, and then the national. So technically, Jagasah
fully committed to Jagasah being back.
They didn't fully commit to giving him that starting spot back until Knapp went out with his injury. So that was just because Knapp was playing out of his freaking mind that entire year, and Shrouth was handling that other side. That's where I'm like, because offensive line is such a continuity thing.
Yes.
And I just don't know if you want to mess with that, especially if a guy, he's not going to go through fall camp with these guys. He's not going to go through, fall training and fall conditioning. He's not going to be in the trenches for your two biggest games of the year. Like, I don't know how that affects the room. And if you're Freeman, it's like, hey man, like, what do you want me to do? You got to be here. The best ability is availability. You're not available.
I think the best option, just in my personal opinion, the best option would be wait till NC State or wait till Boise State, and then start working them back in. And then if it feels like the offensive line's working and just the unit together for USC, then make his first start be USC, full-time start back be the USC game. And if not, then we'll see how it goes.
I mean,
yes,
why don't they just I would put Knapp inside, and then I put Black or Gerby Lambert, which Lambert looks like he's not.
They don't want to do that. They don't want to do that for some reason.
I don't think they want to put Knapp out anywhere except left tackle.
Well, I think what it is it's more, you're starting on the road. You already last year were forced to start a true freshman on the road against A&M week 1, and I was watching Blake Ruffino and Joe DeLeon's show last night, and they were talking about this, and they said, just because Anthony Knapp, fresh at 3 months out of high school, was able to step in and play pretty damn well against Nick Skirton and that defensive line from A&M, that's the exception. Not every true freshman that just stepped foot on campus is going to be able to handle that.
Yeah.
So, but I think Will Black is better, personally.
He is, but he just stepped foot on campus.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Absher's been
And
a part of the program.
also, I mean, Ben, he's going to be going up against Ruben Bain.
Yeah, he's got to be going up against the best defensive player in college football, or defensive in the college.
One of the best yeah, like
player, not player. I misspoke.
Yeah. Like, I think part of that not wanting to, like, if you go Absher, right? If you go Absher, you save yourself because he's been in the system for 2 years, and he's played in games. He's got a game experience. Will Black and Lambert don't. So would you feel more comfortable keeping Knapp at that left tackle spot and having Knapp go up against Bain, right? And then, go ahead, Ben.
I will say this for Sean's point of moving Knapp in. We look at the way we're going to play against Miami. I think it's more important to have the best player at that left guard spot than at left tackle. Because if we really look at the way we're going to play against Miami, it's got to be a lot of running. And not saying that, left tackle doesn't matter. But if we think Will Black's better at left tackle, and having Knapp at left guard's better with that whole outcome, then I wouldn't be against it then, hypothetically. Because then you have the best player you possibly can at every position. You're not playing, and you take the risk of starting a true freshman. But
yeah. So Justin says it's a minimum of 8 weeks before you can even bear weight.
You can't even. He's not going to be able to work out fully until
8 weeks from now is September 8th.
Yeah, it's the week after it's going into it's our bye week.
He'll be out half the season. And again, I mean, what's funny? It's not funny he got hurt, but it's funny that like last season it was like, oh, he got hurt, and it was like, oh shit, here we go, and it started the run to the championship. Hey, I mean, if he's hurt again and it gives us a national championship run again, I mean, it's deja vu.
It was ironic, but like somebody in the group chat said when this news broke was like, it's load management. And I was like, dude.
You do that at the end of the fucking season when you're playing Pittsburgh. Not when you go to Miami.
It's the right. I got it wrong. Load management, but it went wrong.
Well, no, this is definitely the athletic trainer's fault.
This EA College Football 26, all I know is Absher ain't going to enter all this playing time is going to be good for them not hitting the portal.
I'll say this, though, and I want to ask this because does this with this injury, and I've thought about it more as like after the couple days since this news came out, with starting a redshirt freshman quarterback who has never played a single snap on the road, week 1 at Miami at night. It's going to be packed to the brim because it's Notre Dame, Miami. And you're now without arguably your best offensive lineman. Does this change does it worry you a little more about the game and how it could affect the outcome?
No, I think they're going to have a run heavy. I mean, the O-line's still going to be good, and then you have Love and Jadarian Price. I don't think they're going to go in there with the mindset that Carr's going to throw 30 passes. I think that they're going to use that running game to their advantage. Miami's not going to really score much on our defense. Carson Beck, people say he sucks. Yes, he does. But, I mean, his experience.
They're going to clip this so bad, Sean, and you're never going to hear the end of it on Twitter.
Carson Beck, I mean, he's a bad quarterback, but with his experience, he might be able to score on the Notre Dame defense. But I think that our defense can hold Miami's offense. So I don't think TJ Carr is going to need 30 points and 30 passes. I think he just needs to throw the ball 15, 20 times, and they give Love and Price combined 30 carries, and we're good.
The only reason I bring that up is because it does worry me a little bit, because I do think Ruben Bain is one of the best edge rushers. Ben's higher on him than I am. I think he's one of the best. I don't think he's the best, but he's
the Indianapolis Colts draft Ruben Bain next year, I will die a happy man.
But like, they're gonna do what A&M did to Knapp last year, which is they're gonna attack whoever that is filling for Jagasah. They're gonna stunt. They're gonna attack the crap out of him. So whether that's Absher, whether that's you kick in Knapp and you start one of the younger guys. That's what worries me a little bit, because we don't know necessarily what this offensive line looks like with Sullivan Absher
I
in
just
there.
thought about this.
Yeah.
We rushed Knapp with less than a month before the game. Absher's going to have the whole fall as the one with getting experience. I mean, that's big. I mean, that's a big difference in somebody having the whole fall going into the season as a starter and getting the 1 reps than Knapp getting thrown in 2 weeks before the game.
Well, and I was asked by some Miami people about this thing, and they're like, "Are you worried at all?" I said, "I didn't have time to fully think about it. I still think it's a concern, but I'm not as concerned." I looked at it like last year when we were told that Anthony Knapp's going to get killed by Nick Skeleton and that Shamar Turner, and he held his own. I think and it's crazy to say because you lost Pat Coogan, you lost
Sam Pendleton, Rocco. I wish we still had Sam Pendleton.
Like you lose those guys, right? But I think that this offensive line room is deeper than it was last year. It's more talented. I'd say it's more talented. Like Will Black's better than Sam Pendleton. Like, let's be honest, Gerby Lambert is better than Rocco Spindler. Like, they just don't have the experience. Last year it was nice because Ashton Craig goes down and you have a junior ready to come in. Go ahead, Ben.
I think one thing, and I don't know if you have here on the third segment, let's talk about week 1. So are we on that segment now?
Yeah, we can. Yeah.
One thing I think that's going to matter here a lot is Miami. We have to look at Miami's side of the ball. Yeah, we're losing Charles Jagusah. He's one of our best offensive linemen. We're losing him. But Miami still has to go with a quarterback out there who had basically Tommy John surgery on his arm. And there's an interview Brock Purdy did with, is it Bustin' with the Boys? Taylor Lewan's podcast?
Yeah.
He did an interview. Brock Purdy, similar surgery, not as bad as Beck's. Brock Purdy said that your first few games coming back from that, it sucks. It hurts like a truck. It hurts like a mother trucker to throw the ball the first few times. And we're hearing that Carson Beck isn't even throwing the ball that much at practice, like they're limiting the 20 passes at practice. I don't think Miami's run game is good enough to beat our run game. And I don't know if Miami trusts Carson Beck into throwing the ball enough to beat us. So it wouldn't shock me if we win this game like 20-7 or 20-10, like kind of like an A&M game last year. But I'd like to really see how that happens, how they come back. And if we go out there with a freshman at left tackle, it's not the end of the world. We did it before. I think this coaching staff's a really good staff. I think they'll get them prepared.
I think Notre Dame's going to go out there pissed about the national championship and lay belt to ass. I mean, I think
Ooh.
That's my favorite word.
That's Fravel's favorite word. It's a no word.
A&M, I think that's going to be the close game, and then Arkansas, that'll be close. But I do think Miami, I just think we win that by 2+ scores minimum.
What's crazy is I was told by Miami fans, Ben's been in a few of those spaces and heard, they legitimately think that they're going to just be able to stack the box and that's going to stop Notre Dame's offense.
State thought the same thing, and it didn't end well.
And Penn State's defense is a million times better than
that. Yeah. Even though Ruben's a god, but he's not Abdul Carter.
He's not Abdul Carter. And we were playing Abdul Carter, not at Abdul Carter level, but still.
That's true.
I think we win that. I mean, I'm not necessarily nervous about Miami. Should I be? Yeah, probably. But I trust Freeman. I have put a lot of faith in CJ Carr. Now, if Kenny Minchie walks out there as quarterback, I think I'm going to start freaking out. But I trust CJ Carr. I really
do. No, this injury was an inside job on Kenny Minchie because we'll have his left guard come next season.
Yeah.
So that
he's like, now CJ Carr is going to get hurt, and now I will start. Yeah. I think that we're going to be fine.
So talking about the Miami game, obviously I think we're all in agreement. We all think that Notre Dame's going to win week 1, right? That's how the thought process.
We're going to lose.
Okay, yeah. All right. Well, because I kind of want to go here because I'm interested to hear what you guys say. Obviously, the biggest question mark is going to be the quarterback position. Or is there any side of the ball, any position, anything at all that you are a little worried about with specifically the Miami game?
Yes, defensive tackle and maybe wide receiver. And that's not because I'm nervous about the talent. I think the defensive line, specifically defensive tackles, looked great in the playoffs. But when you lose Howard Cross and Riley Mills, you got to replace two. You got the two guys that played in the playoffs coming in. They got the experience, but rotating, who's going to rotate with them? Get Sean Salavano ready. Anye coming in. You got the Louisville guy. How will he?
Armel Mukam.
So it's going to be. It's not that I'm worried about the. I just when I look at defense, I'm not worried about the edges. I'm not worried about linebacker. I'm not worried about defensive backs. Arguably safety, but I'm still not worried. So there's just the interior. Those guys, are they going to be able to stop the run with limited game experience? And then wide receivers, are they going to come together? Are we finally going to have a successful wide receiver season? I feel like those are the fairest, easiest choices to choose. But what other positions can you be nervous about? I really can't think of any.
Ben, you got any? Sure. We gotta make every extra point. We gotta make every field goal.
That's another thing. Like,
can't leave points on the field.
It's really been kind of glossed over, right? But like, how is the kicking game going to look this year?
I think the kicking game will look fine.
That was good in the spring game,
yeah.
though.
Yeah.
Noah Burnett did not look good in the spring game. He did no.
Well, did Mitch Jeter look good in the spring game last year? Did Mitch Jeter look good the whole season last year?
Yeah, and then he missed a 20-yard field goal that could have kept us in the national championship.
No. Al Golden's not getting out of that one. He's zero blitz with Jeremiah Love being guarded by Christian Gray. Really, Al Golden? Was that really a smart idea? When Leonard Moore is on the other side of the field, really, Al Golden? I want Bengals fans to be ready for what they're going to get. Chip Kelly, I would say, would be an average NFL.
Everything. He's led Notre Dame top 10 defenses the last 3 years.
I love Al Golden. I think he's awesome. I think he's also very funny. But Chip Kelly's probably an NFL average offensive coordinator. Al Golden got cooked by Chip Kelly. So just get ready, Bengals fans. Just get ready.
That is one thing that, like, legitimately, I am kind of worried about Noah Burnett as a kicker, because, and it's just a spring game, but he kicked like a 30-something yarder, and it went completely left, and I'm like, dude, come on, like, we got to be able to make 30-yard field goals. Like, the kicking game has been that's one thing that, like, since Freeman's been here, besides Schrader, the kicking game has been kind of bad. Like, and I think it's maybe because you're going to the portal every year to just bring in a yearly kicker. But, like, Notre Dame never used to have, like, kicking problems. Like, we always had, like, a Justin Yoon, a Jonathan Dorr.
Let's talk about this, though. Mitch Jeter, before the injury, was great. He was great before he got hurt. He was great. So, in that one game. But I agree. Do they need to develop a kicker? Arguably, yes. Why haven't they? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Kicking one. The other thing that worries me a little bit is the safety position. Not that, like, I'm not, like, ultra concerned about it, but I think that bringing in a new guy, like, it's going to be either Luke Talich or Jalen Stroman. I don't really know, because Stroman's coming off of an injury, and
Stroman went to high school.
Yeah, Talich is supposed to be really, really, really good, but, like, I don't know. Like, you're replacing Xavier Watts, and I think we underestimate just how good Xavier Watts was and how many plays he erased.
Yeah.
Because it was one thing for him to be in on a play. Thing is, he caught when he got in on a play, he ended the play, and ended a lot of drives. He didn't just knock passes down; he intercepted them. Can Talich do the same thing?
Probably not. But I think I think the defense all around has gotten better or is better than last year. So he doesn't need to be Xavier Watts.
Yeah, that's true.
I think
Yeah.
Devontae Smith's a pretty good.
He'll be nimble.
Yeah. And then I think Aaron Schuler. Oh my God, Aaron Schuler is gonna have a lot better year than last year, coming out of nowhere.
Adon?
Adon. Oh my God, I'm stupid. Adon Schuler. I'm reading these names. I'm like looking back and forth to look at the camera. Adon, I think will have a better year. I think Snead's gonna have a breakout year. I don't know why. It's just I think Bowen will do well, but I could just see Snead having a really good year just with everything that's been kind of like people have been second guessing him this season.
Madden too. I think Madden's going to rotate in pretty frequently. KVA and Bowen will be the two mains with Snead, and then they'll rotate Madden, and they'll probably rotate Zinter. What's his name? Calhoun. Watch out for him a little bit. Oh, Osbury. Watch out for Oz. He'll
Osbury.
fit in. We're fine. I mean, gosh, when was the last time we talked about a Notre Dame group where, like, usually we're like, oh, our starter's good. Our backups are good and could start. So I think we're good.
We could have used those backups against Ohio State in 2016 when Jalen Smith's kneecap destroyed itself in the middle of the game.
We could have used those backups and everywhere. Yeah. We just do we? I mean, we probably beat Ohio State if we don't have as many injuries as we had. So, I mean, we'll see. All right.
But yeah, I mean that was pretty much all our topics for today. Another good show. Yeah. So I mean, obviously next up we got Nick Reddish, who commits on July 11th. I think we're all pretty confident in that
Friday,
one.
right?
Friday, and then Elijah Golden on the 26th. And it looks like then we'll be wrapping up the 26 class for the most part. But yeah. Anyways, guys, we got 240 people watching right now. You guys can go over to Voice of College Football Notre Dame, drop a like, a sub, and a comment. Let us know what you guys think of the show. And we got some news, some updates. So going forward, after tonight's show, we will be live every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Central. That moving us a little bit, later time, getting into the summer. But yeah, just want to let you guys know every Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. But anyways, thank you guys all for tuning in. This has been Notre Dame Primetime Live on the Voice of College Football Notre Dame. I am your host, Ryan Ferville, with my co-host Ben and Sean. Go make sure you drop us a follow on Twitter, and we will see you guys next week.
Yo, someone